Welcome back to Fox Sports World's continuing coverage of World Cup qualifying. Today from Lansdowne Road in Dublin, Ireland, it's the Republic of Ireland taking on Belgium. I'm Matt Cohen along with Rick Davis. Rick, this has been an awfully close series so far.
Matt, this series is as close as it gets. Each team has won 4 games, each team has lost 4 games, and each team has tied 4 games. Each has 22 goals. Today's game is likely going to break that tie.
Now let's take a look at how these teams got here. In UEFA Group 7, Belgium finished just 1 point behind Netherlands. Turkey, Wales, and San Marino followed up.
And Matt, Romania clearly the favorite and the team that ended up doing so well in Group 8. Republic of Ireland came along with 18 points, had to squeeze out a result there late to get ahead of Lithuania in order to qualify for this game today.
Rick, let's join our commentators at Lansdowne Road Stadium in Dublin, Ireland.
Here we are, live at Lansdowne with Tony Cascarino making his 75th international appearance and stunning for Frank Stapleton's international goal-scoring record. He's already on his top scorer in the World Cup. He's hoping now to add to that and equal Frank Stapleton or maybe even surpass him. That's the lineup that Mick McCarthy has sent into action, and that's the way they'll shape up on the pitch, with Kennedy just behind Connolly and Cascarino.
Number 9, Michael Housens. Number 10, Danny Bottom.
That's the Republic of Ireland lineup with Shea Gibbon behind the defence. And there's Andy Townsend back to lead the side for a record 39th time.
Number 3, Dennis Irwin. Number 4, Ian Hart. Number 5.
The Belgian team was announced yesterday, and there it is, several key absentees. Oliveira, the main man, of course, their top scorer, he'll be missing. Suspended for this game. That's the way they line up, with Mike Verstraeten, who wasn't even in the squad, called up to play in place of Philippe Albert. Frankie van der Elst, the number 6 for Belgium, 1 cap more than Tony Cascarino. 36 years of age he is now, and captaining the Belgian side that goes into battle, bidding to get into a 4th consecutive World Cup.
Referee for today is Laszlo Wagner from Hungary.
Mike Verstraeten called up to replace Philippe Albert and getting his place in this Belgian side. An innocent spectator is the England manager, Glenn Hoddle. His team already safely into the World Cup finals. Those are the Irish substitutes. Lee Carsley getting the vote to be among the 7 who'll sit on the bench.
Just before we start,
this evening's referee is Lieutenant Colonel in the Hungarian army from Budapest, 42-year-old Laszlo Wagner.
You will get in, but don't crush. A lot of people still coming in, so please take it nice and easy. Thank you.
Some famous names among those Belgian substitutes, men feared and revered across Europe. Several Champions League stars in that lineup as well. Talk to Jim Beglin as we are about to get underway.
Well, thankfully, George, the crowd have responded. There's a terrific atmosphere here tonight. I think recent games here at Lansdowne Road, it hasn't been quite so good, a little subdued. I think over the 2 legs, there's probably going to be very little to choose between the teams. I just thought we get the little bit of luck we deserve, and we certainly deserve it against Belgium.
Fine evening for a game of football. Stephen Staunton there, and played forward by Cunningham. David Connolly's after it. Connolly maintaining the possession, but eventually losing it, and put out of play by Ian Hart.
It was a good early ball from Kenny Cunningham. That's something Jack Charlton always liked to do, get a defence to turn and face their own goal very early in a match.
Throw to be taken by Junot, the Belgian right back. 4 defenders and a sweeper behind them, Van Meer. That was Vidovic, born in Sarajevo, but a naturalised Belgian. And Townsend in there to win it back for Ireland. Dennis Irwin put under a little bit of pressure and unable to keep the ball in play. Junot to take the throw. Irwin in. A high one from Junot. On by Townsend, but nobody patrolling that right flank. Ray Houghton had been sucked right in field. On the ball now, Van Meer. Hart for the challenge. And now Gary Kelly playing at right back. Struck long and over the head of Tony Cascarino. Connolly trying to get in around the back. Van Meer there. His clearance. And Kelly is there once more. Townsend bundled out of the way. Houghton couldn't control it. Houghton tried to get back in touch. Now it's Junot. Tucked in field. Van der Elst, the captain. Van Kerkhoven. Seeking Junot. Irwin rising. It's come down though for Nielies. Look, Nielies is not a man who tends to spurn chances. PSV striker. 6 goals at 41 internationals before tonight. And he took the chance but wasn't able to deliver it to the net.
Just as well too, George, because I think Dennis Irwin will be a little disappointed with himself. He had a free header, he had time to get it away, and he didn't get the strongest contact he would have liked. And thankfully, Nielies pulled it well wide.
Nielies with the Dutch champions Eindhoven. This is now Van Meer. Out of Townsend. Throw to Belgium. Junot is apparently in no hurry to get on with things. Well, there's his throw. Of course, they'd be very happy, Belgium, I'm sure, to come out of here with a draw on the home leg to come on Saturday fortnight. Or are they going for the win? Wilmots with a chance to set free Boffin, and Boffin's shot is too high. Boffin plays in France with Metz. An experienced international, but he's yet to find the net for Belgium. And this one was a long way off the target.
I think probably a sign of nerves. I think there's a lot of nerves out there tonight. There's great work by Wilmots on the right side to get away from Staunton. But we don't really want to be conceding that sort of room early on. And thankfully their shooting up to now is well wayward.
Cascarino on with a push on Connolly and eventually cleared by Vidovic. Van der Elst, Staunton has won it back. Van Meer intercepted by Townsend. Now it's Houghton, pulling out wide right is Connolly. It's taken Vidovic out of the middle. Connolly back for Houghton. Cunningham's there. Staunton wants it played away from him to Hart, and that's what he's got. Irwin wide left, closed down by Boffin. Irwin for Kennedy. Stepping away from Junot's challenge, but not before Junot tapped his ankles. It's an Irish free kick. Kennedy and Staunton together. Cascarino's at the back of the box. Staunton with 2 assists in the match in Lithuania. Can he deliver that for the forward of Tony Cascarino? Lovely curling ball. Headed away by Verstraeten. And a shot from Houghton, but it's too high. But you saw what was intended there. And the Belgians were right to be worried and concerned about Irish power in the air.
I'm sure they've done their homework on that. It was a good ball in from Staunton, but Verstraeten, the number 3, is the one who's going to pick up Tony Cascarino, and he anticipated well to get in front of the big man.
Out for the final effort, which went over the top. Hart goes up. Decisive header that was. Away by Junot, that's Cunningham. The header from Wilmots. And now Van Kerkhoven. Nice return intended, but intercepted by Houghton. Gary Kelly. Kennedy with a free roll, it would appear. He's all over the place. And a poor pass given away. And a chance here as Boffin goes through. He's offside, but that was dreadful play by Mark Kennedy and could have been so costly.
Well, he did well initially, but it was just a nonchalant flick with the right foot. Dennis Irwin was clearly on. Should have played it with his left and drilled it.
Got away with that. Boffin, though, the player we said he hasn't scored for Belgium yet. And he was offside, well offside. And meanwhile have a free kick. And while they're setting up for this, we hear Russia and Italy have drawn 1-1. That's the first leg completed there. Italy would appear to be favourites to qualify from that tie. The away goal in the bag. Can there be a home goal for Ireland? The Belgian wall. Staunton and Dennis Irwin. Now Irwin can certainly curl them from this kind of range. Townsend is on the end of the wall. And it's Dennis Irwin. Townsend ducks away. Irwin! Dennis Irwin has put Ireland in front. Only the second time he's ever scored a goal for Ireland. And what a final goal that will be after the one he got against Morocco 7 years ago. Wonderful free kick by Irwin. You did say watch out for this, and he delivered it superbly. Round the wall, buried in the corner, 1-0.
Well, the goalkeeper DeWolf thinks he's done everything correctly, set the wall up, but what can you do about that? It's just expertly taken from Dennis Irwin. We know he can do it, and what an occasion to produce the goods. Fantastic free kick.
A quality goal from the Manchester United man. Ireland lead Belgium in the first leg of this playoff. What a start, 7th minute, 1-0. Savour it, here it comes again. No chance for Van Philip de Wilde in the goal. Beautifully struck, beautifully curled. Townsend created a little gap and in it went. Second goal for Ireland for Dennis in his 47th international. Just the start that Ireland would have wanted.
And George Lakin's won't be happy with his defence, George, because I mean, we've seen him give away a few silly free kicks already. Janot and Vidovic, the one guilty of giving that one away, and boy was he punished by Dennis Irwin.
Ball by Kelly. Ball put out by Van Meer. Here's Van der Elst. And Janot has some room on the right. Stratton, and Staunton able to intercept as he was put under pressure. Again Kennedy's giving it away. Nightmare start for the man who's just been put on the transfer list by Liverpool. Townsend covered it up. Irwin, long ball forward, met for Connolly, but a pressure header there for Potvin, and Ireland have it back. Now Kennedy trying to get himself involved in the action, trying to redeem those two dreadful early errors.
I think really what it needs now is a word in his ear from one of the experienced men. He's obviously feeling a little tense out there. It is a big night for him, and of course now that Liverpool have granted him a transfer, a shop window job this evening.
Wilmots fouled by Irwin. Free kick for Belgium. Not within shooting distance, but the opportunity for them maybe to aim for the big man Goossens, but not a good free kick at all. Cleared away by Townsend. And that won't trouble Shea Given. Given's inviting Goossens to attack him. Nothing came of it.
I think now we just have to hope we've learned our lessons from earlier in the group when we scored in Macedonia and sat back and did the same in Iceland. We can't afford to do tonight of all nights.
Goossens penalised there. Not impressed. And he's going to be spoken to. The fact that the foul has been given to Belgium. No wonder he was protesting. Felt a little bit of misinterpretation there. And now he's satisfied. Stratton moves forward. Free kick from Van der Elst. It's Staunton who made it his, and Houghton who completes the job. Kennedy couldn't control it. It's played for Janot. Bradley Buckman. Rather too long that, and tidied up rather spectacularly by Gary Kelly. Kelly. His intercept is Vidovic. Here's Vidovic once more. Van Kerkhoven. And a free kick awarded against Gary Kelly. Quickly take it. Van Kerkhoven continues on. Goossens is in the middle. Boppan's arriving too. Cunningham has put it out, and it's a throw to Belgium. Thrown there for Wilmots. Corner. Appeals for a handball, but the referee saw only a corner.
Well, the whole of the Irish crowd behind the goal are appealing, and it even looked it from here. Certainly did catch a part of his arm, but...
Shaven-headed Ian Hart defends. Verstraeten is forward. Tricked on by Van Kerkhoven. Cleared by Connolly. Out is after this. Back goes Van der Elst. And now Vidovic. And that's Connolly looking decisive. And bringing the ball away. And delivering it to Irwin. A little look from him. And then inside for Staunton. Forward for Connolly. Looking for Kennedy. Kennedy splits the defence. The challenge comes in from Med van Meer. And the ball has gone out for a throw to Belgium. Dream start for Mick McCarthy, but there's so long to go. 78 minutes or so. There's a lot of work to be done. Staunton taking command. Goossens had the feet up. Cascarino, but Jeannot is there. And Jeannot played wide for Van Kerkhoven. Likes to get forward, this fella. Tucked inside then for Van der Elst. Not a good ball from the skipper. It's Mark Kennedy. And he's to Cascarino. Now Staunton. Out wide right is Connolly. Kennedy having a little look. Back for Irwin. Going nowhere. Delivered on to Shay Gibbons' stronger right foot. And he's opted to work the right flank. On Kerkhoven. Tidied by Houghton. And may yet have to go back to Gibbon once more. Route 1. Cascarino up, beaten to it by Verstraeten. Then it's Hart. Van der Elst. Goossens. Boppin. Neely's through the middle. Goossens there too, the two strikers. Aim for Goossens. Delivered right onto his forehead. And he got away from his marker, but he couldn't direct it onto the goal.
Well, again, the worrying thing here is Boppin was allowed all sorts of room to get across in the first place, and it is a free header, difficult to take, but the marking is poor again. I mean, Ireland should be looking to try and get to those first. And Goossens was given a lot of room there.
Well, he got in between the two defenders, and Ian Hart was stranded in no man's land. But again, they got away with it. Now it's Kennedy, challenged by Verstraeten. Townsend coming in with vigour. Throw to Belgium. There's a rock-solid look to the centre of Ireland's midfield with Steve Staunton and the returned captain Andy Townsend. Really up for this. There's Townsend in there to win it again. Irwin and Hart with the clearance that goes out of play for a Belgian throw. Jeannot cut out by Irwin, and Hart dwelt a little too long there. It's Goossens. Goossens across the goal. Oh, what a save from Neelitz by Gibbons. Shay Gibbons with an astonishing save after more poor defending in front of him.
Well, again, it's very careless from the Irish defence. It was a quick throw. It should have been dealt with. It's not. And Shay Gibbons has reacted superbly on his near post to get that away.
It's Neelitz who had the effort with the corner. Headed away by Cascarino. Van der Elst came back up his own man, Van Meer, and eventually saved by Gibbon. Well, they're not here to make up the numbers by any manner of means. This was the corner. Van der Elst, and it could have troubled Gibbon, and a poor effort at the finish by Van Kerkhoven. But this was Goossens, and again Ian Hart was found wanting when it mattered. Reaction header and a reaction save. save. Junot. This is Nilis. And Hart has again come off the worst, but on this occasion he was pushed in the back. It's a free kick to Ireland.
Been a good spell from Belgium, a good response from them since they conceded a goal. And really it's up to Ian Hart and Cunningham, who've done very well in general since being paired together. But it's up to both of those now to be a little more commanding, to dictate in there and start winning those headers when the ball get into the box.
Out by Junot. And Irwin with the throw in. Kennedy. It's Van der Elst. Irwin's challenge. Throw is Ireland's. Irwin for Houghton. Kennedy. Kennedy for the corner. Ball is out. Throw into Belgium. The early goals should settle whatever nerves there are, but we've seen that Belgium have the potential to threaten Ireland. Ball was out. Irish throw. Irwin again will take. Kennedy. Irwin. Kennedy. And that's a little too close to the keeper, who made a bit of a mess of it himself. The ball's gone out now, and it's Ireland's corner.
You know, Tony Cascarino did extremely well there because he had no chance really of getting on that, but he just did enough to nudge the keeper and put him off, and the referee let him away with it.
Staunton has taken the corner. It's Houghton. Back for Kelly. Kelly for Staunton again. Hoisted by him, but no green shirt in that quarter. Safely with De Wilde. George Lekens, the manager of the Belgian team, who took over in mid-campaign and got them to second place. Defeats only by Holland. Here's Houghton. Appeals again for a handball. Brought away by Vidovic. Nilis. Van Meer. On Kerkhoven. And the right back pushing on Junot. Not quite getting there. It's Potvin. Junot goes round the outside. Challenge from Dennis Irwin. Junot. Shea Given saw it coming. Come straight to Vidovic, and now it's Van Kerkhoven, chased first by Houghton, then by Kelly. Kelly with a crisp challenge, and a second one going in, and a goal kick the outcome. Nico Van Kerkhoven. Leers to the Belgian champions, coming off worse for the Leeds United man there.
He's actually started very well, Gary Kelly, compared to some. His defending up to now has been very cool and composed.
Shea Given. Aimed at Cascarino. Holding off Verstraeten. Advantage play. It's Kennedy. Junot in there. Belgian ball. 20-minute mark has been passed, and Ireland with that Dennis Irwin free kick, the advantage so far. Dennis Irwin meanwhile committing a foul himself. A little bit of a debate with the referee about it. Van Kerkhoven adding his height to proceedings in the middle on the edge of the box. Aimed across him, Hart gets up with a header. Irwin, a slice clearance. Kennedy to head it further away. Now Junot. Van der Elst. Nilis. And the shots, which Given saw in plenty of time, came from Van Meer. Vidovic. Van Kerkhoven. And Junot. Tucked inside Connolly. Van Kerkhoven. Van Kerkhoven once more. Nothing else. 76 caps and not a single goal. And not a particularly good ball from the main man in midfield. Gary Kelly. And Houghton has shaken off the challenge of Vidovic. Now it's Kennedy, laid back for Townsend. On for Cascarino. Verstraeten is with him. That was a great build-up. And eventually, Tony Cascarino was penalised for too much vigour in the challenge. But that was a purple patch.
It was excellent football, excellent 1- and 2-touch football. It's very difficult to live with. Houghton involved, a bit of trickery to get away from his man. Inside Kennedy, Townsend. But I have to say, Verstraeten has marked Tony Cascarino extremely well so far.
The guy only making his mark as an international footballer at 30 years of age. Playing the position that Philippe Albert of Newcastle United would have been in had he not announced his retirement on hearing of his call-up. So dare say must make him unique. There can't be many who pass up the chance of an international appearance by saying no thanks, I'm packing it in. Junot. And now it's Irwin. Verstraeten in ahead of Cascarino. Junot. And Golson's unable to get there. Bundled out of the way by Kennedy was Van der Elst. It's only the second time that Jack Charlton has been back at Lansdowne Road for a match since he retired as manager. Here's Kennedy. Cunningham. One back by Van der Elst. Connolly coming back to try and redeem the error. Onto this comes Botman, chased by Cascarino. It's Townsend who got it away. Now the opportunity of a quick break on here. Kennedy stalls him, but they've opted for safety first in the build-up. And now Irwin over the top for Mark Kennedy, but the ball first to the touchline. A throw to Belgium. Croatia strongly fancied to progress, and Italy too, and that's a good result for Italy with the away goal. And here of course it's 1-0, still playing. And that was Golson's. And that's only the latest score from Budapest. I think Hungary are going out. Yugoslavia about to return to the big time for the first time since they were expelled from the European Championship of 1992. Staunton. Townsend was chasing. The outcome is a throw into Belgium. Still only 28 years of age, Steve Staunton. What a servant he's been down all the years. First played in the 4-0 victory over Tunisia here as a 19-year-old. Well, this is a huge Irish support. It really is back to what it was like at the build-up to Euro 88. They've caught the infection of, what would you call it, football enthusiasm, I suppose, football euphoria. It's back at the top of the agenda. The team is responding. Staunton with this free kick. Gone up the line for Kelly. Van Kerkhoven is with him. That's played for Houghton. Not a great ball. Van der Elst made it impossible. Cleared by Van Kerkhove. And then in came Hart for the decisive header. Junot. Townsend waits for this one. Nudged out of the way. Free kick against Mark Wilmots. Out it goes for a throw to Ireland. Kennedy with the cross. Cascarino trying to get in there, but Stratton got it away, and well played there by Gosens. Nealis is pulled away wide to the right. Now Junot. Nealis, Junot. That's out.
But it's better from the Irish midfield. Staunton and Townsend closing down quickly. Flair nowhere to go. In parts of the game up to now, we've just tended to drop a little bit of deep and give Belgium too much room. And one player you don't want to do that to is Van der Elst, the number 6.
Cleared by Staunton. And intercepted by Verstraeten. Lansdowne Road hasn't been like this for a long time, and the crowd has got what it wanted from its team. Irwin with a cross tried to deliver some more of the same. That was Buffon, and it's gone out. Throw again. Ireland's way. Came off Kennedy. Despite his best efforts, has run harmlessly away for a goal kick. There's still some anxiety, of course. 1-0 isn't the greatest of leads, but it's a lead nonetheless, and so far so good. Van Kerkhove. Run back by Cascarino. Staunton. Kelly. Now Van Kerkhove in receipt from Van der Elst. Van Kerkhoven's cross. And Irwin just got the little touch on it. But now it's Nealis. Oh, that's a wonderful goal by Luke Nealis. And has stunned the Irish crowd. Once more, the Belgians given too much room in front of goal. And Nealis has delivered a killer blow and a crucial away goal for Belgium. And how right the crowd were to be anxious. 29 minutes, 1-1.
Oh, just extremely slow to react again. Dennis Irwin's rushed into it. Only got the header, a flick header away. Andy Townsend's tended to dive in, made it easy for Nealis to go past him. And you have to say, once he got into the position, it was a wonderful, wonderful strike. Keeps happening against us. But again, it's poor defending all around. Mick McCarthy will be livid.
Well, the signs have been there since the start that this defence is not built the kind of brick wall that Jack Charlton teams used to have. Not that we should be pondering on what's long since gone, but Ireland and Lansdowne Road used to be a team that didn't concede goals. Mick McCarthy's team didn't concede goals in the recent past, but then this has happened. And sadly, Dennis Irwin involved at both ends in the goals. And one of them has cancelled out that wonderful free kick of his.
I mean, again, you could argue that Dennis Irwin shouldn't have been the one getting the header away. But one of the centre-backs should have been doing it for him because he had 2 men to cope with on the far post. And there wasn't enough distance on it. And we saw what happened.
Just got to knuckle down and try and get another in front, but certainly 1-1 is not the way they'd want it to be at all. It means that if it were to stay like this and end scoreless in Brussels, Belgium would be through. One back by Townsend. Staunton. Now here's Kennedy. Connolly has it. Kelly. Out. Cunningham. Delivered forward by Kelly. Got out by Van Meer. Played inside from Van Kerkhoven. And now it's Jeannot. Belgium playing now with composure and authority. Vidovic. Van der Elst. Wilmots. Neelis wanted it played to feet and acknowledges the error. Wilmots. Well, maybe we sounded a little harsh in our criticism of Mark Kennedy earlier on, but obviously Mick McCarthy feels the same way. He's about to be replaced by Jeff Kenna. What do you make of that, Jim?
Well, the game's passed Mark Kennedy by. He had a very, very nervous start. When he has got into crossing positions, he hasn't really delivered. And I think Mick McCarthy's clearly concerned that he doesn't want to give away a second. I think Jeff Kenna will go to right back. And I would imagine Gary Kelly will push into midfield.
Hasn't had the best of luck with his left wingers, Mick. He had Kevin Kilban on in Iceland for only half a match, and now the early bath for Mark Kennedy. And Kenna has gone to right back, Kelly to the right side of midfield. Staunton moves to the left side of midfield and Ray Houghton goes into the middle. That's a bit of a blow. You don't pick a team and expect to have to go changing it after 32 minutes. But there's no doubt that Kennedy's performance in the opening half hour was extremely disappointing. Nice layoff by Cascarino, but Houghton didn't have the legs to get there.
I think not only that, George, I think the fact that Mick started with a diamond formation, I think he's played Steve Staunton in the anchor role just as a little protection for Cunningham and Hart. And when Belgium did get the ball wide, well, they had a lot of room to go and play there, and I think that's where they were starting to cause us a little bit of trouble. And there's a better balance about the Irish team now.
It's back to good old 4-4-2. Neelis. Irwin favoured to get there. A nice composed play by Dennis Irwin. And now Staunton, who really loves to get forward and can be so effective at it. Lovely little ball there for Townsend. Van Meer clearly, but it's back with Staunton. Delivered it again there. Cut out by Wilmots. Has come off Connolly. Offside against Cascarino. It seemed he'd been forgotten about round the back, Tony Cascarino. But the linesman saw him clearly.
Well, he wasn't expecting it, but Connolly did well to intercept, and it's just come in too early, and clearly he's a yard or two off.
Cunningham tidying up. And that's Townsend. Certainly McCarthy won't be happy with the way his team have been defending. And the goals against statistic doesn't look pretty encouraging. 23 goals conceded in this his 20th international in charge. That's Tony Cascarino helping Townsend on. Brought on by Verstrik. And he gets booked. Mike Verstraeten booked for that challenge on Andy Townsend.
It's clever by Andy Townsend. You could see it coming. He was caught.
Cascarino, headed away by Van Meer. Now Kenna. Cascarino, Townsend trying to get there. Staunton. Forward it goes from Hart. Townsend trying to wind up with the shot. Van der Elst came in and stole it from him. Junot. Wilmots. That's for Goossens. Cunningham took command. It's a foul surely on Cascarino, and indeed it is. Verstraeten, who's already been booked, climbing over Cascarino. Townsend has taken the free kick. Van Kerkhoven against Gary Kelly, who's managed to maintain possession. Not from out, back again for Kelly. Chance of a cross. Headed away spectacularly, dramatically by Vidovic, but then goes Connolly again. This time it's Van Kerkhoven to bring it away. Staunton might get here. No. Goossens did so. Junot, dispossessed by Staunton. Has the pace to get away from him, but then stood in the ball. Van der Elst and Hart's come in, but couldn't control it. Throw to Belgium.
It's good work by Steve Staunton to close him down, but he was just a little unfortunate. The touch he was hoping to take to get away from Junot. If you say, George, he just stood on the ball.
Here's Junot to take the throw. Nilis. Vidovic. That's Irwin. Houghton. Dennis Irwin again. Staunton back for Irwin. One there by Van Meer. Wilmots. Kenna chases Van Kerkhoven. Chucked back for Wilmots, though he's the spare man. Now Van der Elst. Van Kerkhoven. Over the top towards Nilis. And Irwin shepherding it out of play for the goal kick. George Lakin's in the yellow or cream coat, the near side, and his man Luke Neely's goal has brought Belgium back level. This kick by Junot, throw into Ireland. Junot, who plays his football with Udinese in Serie A. Return from Staunton, not good. Irwin not happy.
I don't think Mick McCarthy will be too happy either. I mean, that's conceding possession needlessly, and I think really it's been a trait of our game in the first half that we haven't really looked like passing our way through the Belgians. The best we look like creating is really from set pieces, and Mick McCarthy will want to improve that. I think he's also got to work on the fact that we're not authoritative enough at the heart of our defence. When Belgium is swinging in those high crosses, we're not really dealing with them convincingly.
Junot. And he went low with the head, and Connolly went high with the foot. One caught the other, and the referee gave it to the Belgians' advantage.
Well, it was accidental because David Connolly was looking the other way. He swiveled round, the foot was already up, and I think really he saw Junot too late to be able to get out of the way. It certainly wasn't intentional.
Well, he went very low with his head, and he paid the price in pain. So So Jeannot is taken to the side. Concern for the manager. Still on the stretcher, but he reckons he'll be all right. There's the free kick. And Kenna in position to take command and decide it can be left for Shay Gibbon. This is Irwin. Aimed at Cascarino. Van Meer goes up. Jeannot is back on the pitch. It's Connolly. Played wide for Kenna. Kenna forward for Houghton. Houghton has Vanderelst with him. Back again for Kenna. Kenna with the cross. Headed away by Wilmots. Vidovic unable to bring it in under control. It's gone out for an Irish throw. Jeannot with the bang in the head resolved. Well, there's a little bit of blood there, it would appear. Cunningham with the cross. And keeper. Bewildered. You can smile about it now, but it didn't look the most convincing. Down the middle from Gibbon. Cascarino the winner there. Verstraeten a mistake. Van Meer tidies. Not altogether effectively. Staunton seeing it out of play. Irish throw. On for Connolly. Nicely played back for Staunton. Early cross delivered in. Oh, here's Cascarino. Trying to feed Townsend. And that was well recovered by Vidovic. But they priced open the Belgian defence very well.
Good ball in. Verstraeten missed it. Intelligent by Cascarino. He's trying to pick out the run of Townsend. He appreciated it, but Vidovic did well.
Kenna. Connolly. Another nice little flick from him. Here's Houghton. Across the face of the Wilder. Goal kick.
Well, that's more encouraging because until now, really, we've lacked that. We're not really playing our way through it all. Clever flick by Connolly. Nice nutmegs from Houghton, but the defender's just done enough to close him down and not give him the time to get his shot on target.
And no power in that left foot, sadly, on this occasion. Obviously not a great deal of Belgian travelling support, to judge by their end. Wilmots. About a minute of the first half. It's Kenna forward. Connolly running out of the middle. Vidovic is there. Kenna intercepts. On for Ray Houghton. But Van Meer read his intention. Irwin seeing it back to Gibbon.
It's been a scrappy half, really. The pattern hasn't quite developed. I mean, both teams have given the ball away an awful lot. I think both sets could certainly improve their general play.
Kenna, 31st international. Little stoppage time at the end of the first half. Half began so brightly. How things can change. Jeannot. Staunton trying to make it difficult for him, but Jeannot rode the storm. Buffon. There's Golson's. Townsend tidying. He's had a fine first half, but he's in pain with his knee at the moment. And that's the last kick of the half from Shay Gibbon. A half that did begin the way Ireland would have wished, and Dennis Irwin delivering the perfect free kick after 6 minutes to put Ireland in front. But after that, Belgium aggressively chased the game and got their reward with a stunning goal by Luke Nilis after some poor Irish defending, not for the first time, that goal coming after 29 minutes. Half-time at Lansdowne Road in this World Cup qualifying playoff. First leg, the Republic of Ireland 1, Belgium, the all-important away goal, 1.
And don't forget, on Sunday, the Republic of Ireland ladies are in action.
We're back at the Fox Sports World headquarters here for World Cup qualifying. We've got the Republic of Ireland 1, Belgium 1 at the half. Rick, Belgium playing without 4 normal starters, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're playing a hard-fought game.
Matt, it doesn't seem like it makes a bit of difference. Schifo, Albert, Oliveira, Stallings, 4 outstanding players, not with Belgium in this game, yet they're tied 1-1 at halftime. That goal that they scored at the foot of Luke Nilles, so very important, and they really have done very well.
They sure have, and Ireland's got to be able to fight back here. They're outmanned as far as offensive weapons go.
Pressure is on Ireland, Matt. They are the home team. They're the one that need to have the win result here. The fact that it's tied 1-1 at halftime, expect Ireland to come out with a little more emphasis in going forward.
Let's take it back to our stadium announcers here on Fox Sports World.
No halftime changes. Teams begin the second half as they ended the first. Jeff Kenna at right back for Ireland, Steve Staunton wide on the left. Here's Irwin. Aimed at Cascarino. Verstraeten beaten there, spectacularly away by Buffon. It's hot. Staunton helped it on. Connolly chases into the corner. Verstraeten with him. And it's out of Junot. And an Irish throw. And a yellow card for Régis Junot for knocking the ball away. 2 yellows on the Belgian side. Hungarian referee Laszlo Wagner. He already booked Mike Verstraeten as well. The foul on Andy Townsend in the first half. Staunton to throw. Junot in the way. Hart is pushed forward. Van der Elst up. Hart in to take command of this again. Towards Cascarino. Houghton coming onto it. And in went Gary Kelly. That's Cunningham. Ireland attempted to up the tempo, turn the pressure on. Staunton going in and he's won it. Handball to the referee.
Just seemed to clip him as he, with his elbow, as Junot tried to get past. But I think it was inevitable. I think Mick McCarthy would have really got at them at half-time. I think we're about to see more urgency because we weren't imposing enough at the back. We've not really been working the ball well in midfield. And Cascarino and Connolly have very little to go. In fact, very little to go at up front. We've got to improve the service to them. The onus is on us.
Connolly going in, a little bit of pushing there, and the referee blows in Belgium's favour. Standing over it, Van Meer. Canna firmly headed away. Vidovic. Van Kerkhoven. Van Meer. Close call for offside there. And Hart, I don't think he was aware that Gosens was there. Got away with it.
Well, it's always a mistake for a defender to let those drop in the first place because it gives you less time to clear. And he was fortunate.
Townsend has solved a little problem by involving Ian Hart, who lost his footing and forced into a covering tackle that has given the possession to the Belgians. And it's Régis Junot. Nilles dispossessed by Irwin. Houghton. Connolly. Too many red shirts around. Nilles. Irwin again winning it back. Now it's Connolly. Cascarino. Houghton and Dennis Irwin. Connolly's the only player further forward. Now Cascarino's gone into position. Houghton goes for the wide ball to Kenna. Kelly. Challenged from behind by Gosens. Unfairly. Irish free kick. Kelly. In receipt from Kenna. Attempted the cross and winning the first corner of the second half.
Well, it's the only time we've really looked threatening on set pieces, so we've got to make sure the delivery is good to give us a chance of making them count.
Hart's gone forward. Connolly's on the goal line. Staunton prepares to swing it. Aimed at Cascarino, who seem to be impeded. Now it's Hart and Connolly, and saved on the line. And a little bit of a row develops between those who went in on De Wilde. The free kick to Belgium is the outcome. Cascarino appeared to be impeded. Hart then had the opportunity. Connolly turned on it, and a yellow card for Tony Cascarino on his 75th international appearance.
Frustration that from Tony Cascarino. Just been saying he's not had much all evening to go at. And when that did break, he was hoping the keeper was going to spill it, and he was a little bit late. It was a good delivery from Stone, and it was clearly aimed towards Cascarino, but he's a little underneath it. And Hart's taken it well, sensibly pulled it back, and Connolly just hasn't got enough on it again. And there's the little touch of artist from Cascarino, which upset the Belgian defence.
And upset the referee sufficiently to give him a yellow card, which means of those on the pitch at the moment, only Jeff Kenna and Ray Houghton haven't got a yellow card against their name. That's in the Irish colours, of course. The Belgians, there are 5. Junot and Verstraeten in this match. Van der Elst, Wilmots and Nilis carried them on. Ball's out. Janos Ring, the linesman, deciding that that was out of play. Cunningham. And Kenna battles on. And then overruns it. It's cleared by Van Kerkhoven. And Cunningham has to scamper back. Kenna overran it. The attack was gone. One in the air by Vidovic. Cascarino trying to bring Houghton into it. Again, the attack peters out. Came off the head of Hart. Staunton plays it forward for Townsend. Cascarino and Connolly make their runs in the middle. Connolly tries to go in. Vidovic heads it away. Still great pace about this game, if not the amount of satisfaction this Irish crowd would have wished. Wilmots. Van Kerkhoven. Luke Nilis taking on Kenna. Nilis, a powerful runner. Goossens pushed wide by Irwin. Goossens with a shot, and Given has to go down to save.
Well, it's just too easy. Again, we've done it. We've stayed off them. And they're playing the ball about in front of us. Somebody has got to commit themselves and get a tackle in. And when the ball finally arrives at Goossens, beats Irwin quite easily. And again, room to get the shot. Given didn't need to get the touch.
Nonetheless, the point is well made. The defence has been unconvincing. Belgium have this corner. Van Meer goes up, but it's won by Cunningham. Houghton away. Back again by Van der Elst. Nilis too close to Given. Danger dissipated. And Given for Kenna. And route one once more, but not at Cascarino, and no trouble to Verstraeten. Van Meer, Van der Elst. Too much pace on that for his front runners. Cascarino causing problems, but tidied up by Junot. Cleared by Kenna. Van Meer, Van Kerkhoven. And one for Bokma. In the way was Cunningham. Kenna has to slide in. Wilmots won it, but now it's Houghton. And again, not a good ball to the side, but Kelly did well to keep it in. Houghton once more. Kenna. For Connolly. In came Van Kerkhoven. The throw-in is Ireland's.
Well, we're not helping ourselves because the passing really isn't the feet, and it needs to be. It needs to be sharper all round, more incisive. And Belgium, well, 1-1 now. They're working incredibly hard to make sure Ireland don't get a second.
That was cleared by Vidovic. This is Vidovic once more. Kelly was there with him. And the free kick. Belgium's way. Offside. Well, the relentless drumbeat sounds out, but the pulse of the Irish team certainly doesn't appear to be racing at this moment.
Well, you can tell by the atmosphere. It was electric at the start of the game, and it's quieted down considerably now.
Goossens. Van der Elst. Now Junot. Goossens won it. But a little bit of illegal use of the arm by the Schalke striker. And good advice from the manager, which seems to be being heeded. Irwin. Staunton. And back for Irwin again. Staunton. Greyhound. Kenna. Turned nicely inside Goossens, and then a good ball for Kelly. Kelly trying to shape for the cross and did well to dig it out of there, but he found only Vidovic. Goossens tangling with Houghton, and the free kick to Belgium. News from foreign fields, it's now 7-0 to Yugoslavia in Budapest. And that match still has 27 minutes to run. This one has 34, and Ireland desperately needs some inspiration. Tony Cascarino seeking to equal Frank Stapleton's all-time scoring record. One goal would do. Beaten in the air by Verstraeten. Now it's Wilmots. Hoffman. Back towards Wilmots. Headed away by Cunningham. Staunton for Irwin. The run from Connolly. In the way was Verstraeten. Irwin winning that back. Then it's Staunton, and it's out, and it's Ireland's throw. Themselves out of trouble. Headed away by Vidovic. Now it's Kenna. How they could do with a little bit of movement, Ireland. It's all a bit stereotype. Cascarino taking on Vidovic. Laid back then. And crossed by Kelly. Goossens tugging at Dennis Irwin. The free kick to Ireland, and can Dennis provide another special? Well, he won't, because they've taken it quickly and it's been wasted.
Well, it is a waste. Dennis Irwin, it was further out than the free kick he scored from, but he still wanted to have another pop at it. He wasn't given the chance.
It's Irwin. Connolly. Townsend. Irwin again. Given away. Nealis has Goossens to his right. It's Nealis. It's saved, and Hart is there to clear. But once again, dreadful waste of possession. And it took Shea Given to keep Ireland at 1-1.
Well, that's basic stuff. It's just extremely careless. He's trying to pick out Jeff Kenna, but Ian Hart gets nowhere near. And again, we see a Belgian player, Neelis, given all the room and time to get a shot in. Well done, Shay Given.
The danger not over yet. It's Gosens once more. Neelis, a potent pairing they are. Bear in mind, Oliveira, Belgium's top scorer at the moment, will be back from suspension for the next leg. This is Buffon played in. Gosens goes for it. And Irwin is able to clear. Connolly. And the linesman saw the ball out of play. Throw to Ireland.
Belgium's confidence is soaring above Ireland's at the moment. Every time the Belgians go forward, they look like creating something. Every time Ireland go forward, then it results generally in nothing.
Now Cunningham. Gary Kelly. And Jeff Cannon. Townsend. Cunningham. Kelly. The ball has gone out. In goes Cunningham. Connolly chasing this. Cascarino in the middle. Connolly turns it in. Staunton to right. Oh, and it was just taken off his toe by Van der Elst. A better opportunity, but nothing came of it. And Ireland's pass intercepted by Wilmots. Neelis. Van Kerkhoff. Gosens. Chased by Kenna. Powerful runner though. Fell over Irwin. And the free kick's been awarded against Dennis Irwin, but that's the head of the action that the referee has taken.
But he wasn't really going anywhere that time, Gosens. I think Dennis Irwin actually was underneath. I don't think he made contact. I think Gosens just fooled the referee into thinking he was hit.
A testing moment for Shay Given. Wall have to come back a bit. And a man of power who can strike a free kick like Dennis Irwin. And Ireland's wall has two Belgians in it. Van Kerkhoven, one side. Verstraeten is there too. Behind them is Buffon. Well, what have they arranged here? Van Meer. Looks like he's going to come and shoot. Van Meer with the left foot over Gibbons' bar. Danger averted. But a few palpitations along the way. That's Irwin. Verstraeten slid in. Irish throw. Sandy Townsend. Verstraeten with the challenge. And that was the throw. On Ireland's way. Townsend back for Staunton. Cross cleared by Verstraeten. Now it's Hart. Kenna. The run here from Kelly. Kelly with the cross. Cascarino rising. Won by Verstraeten. Then it's Wilmots. The free kick gets Kenny Cunningham and Ray Houghton. There certainly haven't been signs in the opening 20 minutes of the second half that the problem has been properly addressed. Ireland look a long way from getting what would be a second lead goal. But there is a long way to go. Foul against Van Kerkhoven. Houghton. And Irwin. And on for Staunton. checks. Irwin runs on. Big ball, too close to goalkeeper De Wilde. Cunningham. Now Staunton. That's a handball, surely. Oh, that had to be a penalty. But the referee has said no, it's a push by Cascarino. Well, if that's the way you see it, then you're right to give the push. But that, to me, looked a handball without question. Did Cascarino push him before he handled the ball? That is the only question that matters.
Well, to be honest, George, a referee looking at it, the hand is on the back and there is a slight pushing motion, but really it's just not forceful enough. And certainly when I looked at it first time round, it looked to me just a straight handball from Vidovic, and we've been harshly dealt with.
Oh well, you go back to penalties not given and matches gone by. Is this going to be another sad story? Connolly's offside. Meanwhile, here go Belgium with Nilis. Boffin's ahead. Nilis runs on. Goossens. Now Boffin. Ball to the back for Wilmots. Irwin with a header. And the corner kick is the outcome. Forward goes Van Meer. Belgium lead on the corner count, 4-2. The tall left back Van Kerkhoven's in front of Shea Given. Nilis takes the corners. He's gone for Vidovic, but Cascarino tracked him back. Connolly seen to be pushed. The shot from Van der Elst has gone wide. Of a throw. And approaching this midpoint in the second half. And a crucial phase for Ireland if they're to get out of this 1-1 situation and impose themselves once more on this tie. Kenna's free kick. Cascarino beaten out of it by Verstraeten. In came Irwin. Jeannot made the challenge. Kenna wins there, but onto it comes Wilmots. And free on the right and unmarked as Irwin was caught forward. And here goes Boffin, and it's come to Goossens. Goossens, well saved by Given. And again the Irish defence torn asunder and saved by the young goalkeeper. The defending has been dreadful. And Shea Given's made a third crucial save. Staunton moves forward. Irwin's cross, Cascarino goes in, saved by De Wilde.
Well, but for Given, he's been superb tonight. Any time really he's been called upon, nothing he can do about the goal, but he's made three very, very good saves apart from that. But again, the Irish defence, it's all over the place, completely stretched. And when it does end up with a far post, Goossens can take his time, get the shot on target. And well done to Dolly goalman.
Here's Nilis. Wilmots. And Jeannot. That's too close to Given. Headed clear by Van Meer. It's Staunton. Dennis Irwin. Connolly. Staunton. And Irwin. Townsend. That's a throw to Belgium. Well, the journalists are always asked at these fixtures to choose their man of the match. There haven't been too many Irish who've covered themselves in glory, but he has. Shea Given. And that's the third, as Jim was saying, crucial save that he's made in this match. Here goes Connolly, cleared away by Van Meer. In goes Townsend, it's come to Cascarino. Oh, lovely skill. Now Houghton, sent towards Townsend, who was stretchy to get there. And it's gone behind for the goal kick. Well, he's been trying his best at one end. Given has been keeping the Belgians at bay at the other. And this was the final save, the most recent save that he made. Reaction stuff, save with his leg from Goossens. Ireland, meanwhile, attempt to string a semblance of an attack together. But the Belgians have grown in stature and look the sharper. Van der Elst. Past Cunningham, who pulled him down. Cunningham says no. But he should not protest too much, for he already has one yellow card against him. Another would mean he'd miss the return on Saturday fortnight. Now, last time the effort was high and not handsome. What are they to try this time? Given does his organising. Nealis prepares his free kick. Curled by Nealis, and this merest touch got it away from the onrushing Van Meer, and that'll be a throw to Belgium. Van der Elst deciding the element of surprise had gone, he'd leave it for Van Kerkhoven. And Kelly got away with that. Kenna's clearance. Cascarino, strength to take on Vidovic and get himself the free kick.
I think it's all the circumstances dictate now. It's all about grit, passion and heart, thinking of what lies ahead and just giving it every possible effort, because we've just not been in sync tonight. We've not gone forward as a team and we've defended very, very shabbily.
Kenna plays it forward towards Connell. Kelly wants it outside. Connolly's gone for him now. Kelly swinging one into the box, headed away by Van Meer. Nealis, forward for Goossens. Back towards Nealis, intercepted by Kenna. It's Houghton. Townsend, on by Connolly, but no Irishman there. Kenna. Nicely played by the Blackburn man. Cascarino pulls away, hoisted towards him by Kenna, but not a good quality cross. Cascarino very nearly getting into the second attempt, but De Wilde sharp enough to make the save. Cunningham in command. Forward by Kenna, but intercepted by Van Kerkhoven. Townsend try and win it back, and that'll lose his footing. It's Wilmots, 3 men ahead of him, holding off Staunton. Buffin back towards Wilmots, out wide right and totally unmarked, as you know. Nobody picked up the forward run, headed away by Hart. But the pressure from the Irish midfield just isn't there on these Belgians, and they're able to flood forward at will. Goossens brought down by Townsend. Lee Carsley readies himself for the fray. Competent midfielder from Derby. To make his second appearance, it would appear. Free kick taken by Nealis. Van Meer. Buffin chases. Buffin attempts the shot, but in the finish it was a long way from its intended target. And the change now about to be made. Lee Carsley is going to go on for his second cap, and he's wearing the captain's armband. Well, that's interesting. Though it has become something of a convention now that when the captain retires, he who replaces him takes on the armband. The corner will take place first, though. Cunningham with Van Meer at the near post. Nilis strikes the dead ball. Cunningham got there. And now it's Houghton. Houghton clears it. Connolly chases it. Van der Elst tidies it.
Well, Mick McCarthy is obviously worried that we're running out of steam in midfield, and I think that's why Carsley is going to come on for Townsend. But I also think he should bring Tommy Coyne on at this stage. We need a goal. We need another goal to take to Belgium in a fortnight's time. And really anything will do. He's got to make some sort of a change in attack.
Well, it can't be said too often enough, but if it ends like this here, all Belgium need is a scoreless draw in Brussels on Saturday fortnight, and they go to their 5th World Cup finals in a row. Now the substitution about to be made. Andy Townsend comes off, and on comes Lee Carsley for just his 2nd cap, and he wears the captain's armband. And Ireland resume the hope of creating another attack. They have a throw. Taken by Kenna. Kelly. And won back by Goossens. Goossens, though, finds his pass intercepted by Cunningham. Carsley's first touch. A high ball towards Cascarino. Onto it comes Houghton. Just wouldn't come down for him. Houghton battling on still. Goes down, no foul. And Van Kerkhoven reckons he took a dive looking for the penalty. Wilmots. Junot. Buffon forward. Inevitably Nilis in attendance too. Van der Elst. Buffon. Van der Elst. And a good run that wasn't picked up by Nilis. Well kept in play. Cunningham is now with him. He too just lost his footing. The clearance effective. Cascarino. Now Irwin. Connolly. The ball's gone out for the throw.
The back three for Belgium have been outstanding tonight. They really have performed with so much discipline. Vidovic, Verstraeten and Van Meer, and they've all worked really, really well together, and that's why Connolly and Cascarino haven't had a sniff.
Which doesn't bode well for the return if what they do need is a 0-0. Buffon. And Buffon received from Van Kerkhoven. Not a good cross. But Goossens is there. Van der Elst comes onto it. Staunton clears it away. Cascarino held off by Vidovic. And advantage played the Belgians' way. Goossens. Carsley challenges him. That's a foul. .5 minutes to go. And the former international defender, George Lakens, has actually masterminded a skillful defensive performance here. They did get a goal, of course, but they've shut Ireland out. Van Kerkhoven. And having said that they've shut Ireland out, Ireland have shown themselves to be pretty devoid in the ideas department, ways of breaking through. Out off Gary Kelly. Belgian corner. And that tells its story as well. 6 corners to Belgium, 4 of them in the second half, just 1 at each half to Ireland. Vidovic goes into the box. Van Kerkhoven's in there too. As always, Nilis will take the corner. Headed clear by Cascarino. Buffon with a shot, stopped by Cunningham. Then Van Meer. Staunton clears, but all the Irish were sucked back. As indeed they had to be, but when the ball is cleared out like that, there's no one to take advantage. The possession goes back to Belgium, and they sweep right back.
Well, I think it tells you how the evening gone. Last 15 minutes of the first leg. Playoff, and we're defending.
Kenna. And Houghton was caught in the face by Verstraeten. And he gets away without reproach.
I think it was more a flailing arm here. Verstraeten is already on a yellow card. He's not going to do anything stupid. I don't think it's a blatant elbow, and the linesman was beside him and saw nothing wrong.
Smilis, Carsley with the challenge. Houghton is thankfully not the worse for that, but Vidovic pushed him aside. And the free kick to Ireland. With a little over 10 minutes to go. Cascarino waited and waited in vain. But there is going to be some relief up front. Tommy Coyne is going to come on.
Looks like Connolly coming off too.
Very late in the day. But Coyne has been a talismanic kind of fixture, kind of player in matches for Ireland. 6 goals in 21 internationals. Meanwhile, the crossbar saves Ireland. Wilmot with a shot that hit the bar.
I mean, I'm fed up saying it by now, but again we've seen the Belgians given room to get a shot in. Wilmots is allowed to run 10-20 yards, struck it extremely well, and that time Shea Given was beaten. I'm very, very happy to see it just strike the crossbar and go over. But look at the room Wilmots is given. He can stride forward, nobody comes to close him down, and he almost said thank you very much.
So Tommy Coyne does go on. 6 goals in 21. The last time he played was March 96 against Russia in Mick McCarthy's first match when he was a late substitute, and he's on as a substitute again. But you'd have to say it is very, very late in the day for Tommy Coyne to get into the pace of this game and make any kind of impact. And you'd wonder really, when things aren't going well and you're going to need a change, is the time to make it not a little earlier than 10 minutes to go. Scoring goals regularly with Motherwell in Scotland. Now Ireland would love another mother. All 3 Irish substitutes now on. Free kick for Dennis Irwin to take. And the Wilda able to rise untroubled and claim it. Carsley though in the way. Kelly makes a run wide right. Challenged by Wilmots. Irish throw. Coyne tries to battle in, but the physically resolute Belgians are in the way once more. Wilmots challenges, ball last touched him. Irish throw. Kenna has taken. Kelly. No chance to get the cross in. He felt he was being impeded when he tried to do so. A goal kick to Belgium. Abby Townsend replenishes the fluids. Disappointing end of the evening for him. Kenna couldn't keep it in play.
The full-time score in the playoff game in Hungary. Hungary 1, Yugoslavia 7.
The crowd taking some solace in the announcement that Hungary were beaten 7-0 by Yugoslavia. The crowd in Budapest got some goals to see. We've seen 2 fine ones they were, but 1 to each side is not the kind of result that the enthusiastic crowd was hoping for. Houghton was fouled. Irish free kick. Kenna. Kelly. Cascarino's in the middle. Kelly delivers the cross. Cascarino rises! And it's saved by the Wilder. The first time tonight he got a clean header on it, but it just didn't come off for him on that occasion.
Well, he knows as well, he just didn't get enough on it. Gary Kelly has got a good delivery from far post, exactly the kind of ball he normally thrives on. And he's headed it into the ground really, and De Wilde has had no problem getting there.
Cascarino on. Tommy Coyne in chase. Staunton easily dispossessed. Now played forward by Hart. Coyne. Staunton dispossessed by Junot. Now Wilmots. Van Kerkhoven. To his left is Goossens. And now Wilmots. 5 minutes to go. And still it's one apiece. But straight to Wilmots. Out profiting though from his failure to control it. On for Coyne. Coyne finding Van Kerkhoven too much to handle. Nealis challenged by Cunningham. The ball ends out of play in a throw to Belgium. Total miss kick by Kenna. It's Cunningham. And Given keeps it in play and sends it along for Cascarino. Van Meer in place. Cleared, and then Cascarino caught offside. And a change on the Belgian side. Gert Verheyen of Bruges is coming on. Safely through to Given. Ian Hart. Verstappen in the way. Snowen. Put out of play by Junot. And now the changes will be made. Verheyen and Gilles de Wilde of PSV Eindhoven coming on. And the two front men, Nealis and Goossens, are going off. Nealis, who scored the goal, goes on to take his place in the dugout. And Goossens goes off, and De Wilde comes on. Two strikers.
Come on, David.
Precious little time left, 2 minutes plus stoppages, and there weren't really any of those apart from the substitutions in the second half. Staunton's attempted cross is blocked by Junot. Throw in, which will be taken by the same Stephen Staunton. Tommy Coyne trying to get turned on it. Cleared away by Van Meer. Then Kenna, and that'll go out of play.
Is number 8, the goal scorer for Belgium, Luc Nealis.
Again, the ball is out. And what began as an evening of great enthusiasm is petering out now into what seems an inevitable draw. And a frustrating draw at that.
It pains me to say it, George, but really we're lucky if we're going to get away with a draw, because Belgium have had the better chances on the evening. Thank goodness for Shea Given. He was in outstanding form, easily our best player, and that says everything about our performance.
Straight down the middle for Cascarino again. It's come to Staunton. Staunton for Houghton. Support from Kelly. Brian Van Kerkhoven. And the cross is too close to the keeper, but he was taking no chances. And he's put it behind for a corner, which could be Ireland's last attack. Dennis Irwin drops across to take it. This is how it came about.
Had to be sure maybe Tony Cascarino was lurking. He did the right thing.
Cascarino's at the back of the box. Irwin swings it in. Up Staunton's head. But nobody on the edge of the box for the pieces that might be picked up. And De Wilde of PSV Eindhoven brings it away. And Houghton was deceived, and it's now Wilmots. Van der Elst runs ahead, stopped by Cunningham. Now it's Ian Hart and a free kick against Van der Elst. So we move into stoppage time. Given again, route one, again looking for someone down the middle. All he finds is Eric van Meer. Back again by Houghton. Coyne beaten to it in the air. It's Kelly once more. On for Houghton. Easy for van Meer. And Houghton has a little goal out of frustration. And it has been a frustrating evening. But Belgium have been disciplined. And they've certainly been sharper when they have attacked.
I think Mick McCarthy will be wondering where it all went wrong. 7 minutes, Dennis Irwin scores, and you think we can just step up a gear and really go at the Belgians after that. And somehow on the night we froze, and we were very disappointing on the whole.
De Wilde, pop out to his right. Challenged cleanly by Hart. And now Staunton. Cascarino. And that's cleared away by Verstraeten. Now a minute and a half of stoppage time. Where did that come from? Nonetheless, it gives Ireland a chance to get an unlikely winner. And a free kick in front of the Belgian box. In almost an identical position to the one from which Dennis Irwin blasted home the opener after just 6 minutes. This is really Ireland's last chance, and one that has come their way rather more by chance than by good design. But can they profit from that? They've seen what Irwin can do, but Steve Staunton is there, who may try to do something similar with his left foot. The Belgians have two to worry about. Tommy Coyne waits free on the edge of the box, but it's all about a free kick that's going to test the goalkeeper and that wall. Irwin moves forward and tries to curl it again, and it's just wide. Well, Dennis Irwin was determined. He was going to give it his best shot. How close was it? Just a whisker away.
Well, it was almost an action replay. Dennis Irwin said, I'm going to try and do what I did in the first half again. And he seemed to get everything right until that last minute, and it just curled away.
Well, he got the goal after 6 minutes. Then Luke equalised with a stunning shot after 29. Dennis Irwin's second international goal, not enough in the finish to win the game for Mick McCarthy's team. And an evening that began with high expectation, great expectations, and high excitement has ended now in a trough of disappointment. It is a draw, but an away goal has been conceded, and the stark reality is that Belgium need only hold Ireland scoreless in Brussels, and they're in the World Cup finals for the 5th time in a row. Ireland's journey isn't over yet, but it'll take a mighty effort in Brussels on the 15th of November if Ireland are to reach their 3rd World Cup finals in a row. Final score at Lansdowne Road, and a disappointing final score it is too. After such an auspicious beginning, Republic of Ireland 1, Belgium 1.